continúa Cinescape y continúa la cobertura exclusiva desde Hollywood de la saga Twilight. Vamos a hablar ahora con el malo más malo de los Volturi. Él se llama Aro, es este vampiro recontra sanguinario interpretado por el actor Michael Sheen. Bueno, él es una leyenda en Inglaterra, ha hecho mucho teatro, ha interpretado a Tony Blair incluso en la película de La Reina, también en la saga Underworld, y ahora es el malo en la película Twilight, ¿no? Lo estuvimos con él en Hollywood, súper buena onda, relajado, pero antes de ver la nota, te cuento que estaba investigando justamente para hacer esta entrevista y me di cuenta que casi todas las páginas web están en inglés. Es verdad, mira, el 56% de las webs están en ese idioma. ¿Qué esperas tú para aprender inglés? Prepárate y estudia en el IMNA, que tiene profesores permanentemente capacitados y una súper metodología y te ofrece certificación internacional cada nivel. Así que métete al IMNA, aprende inglés y haz tuyo el mundo. Búscanos en Facebook como IMNA Oficial. Gracias, IMNA, por estar en Cinescape. Pero sí, vámonos a Hollywood. Los Volturi en Cinescape. Vamos a verlo.
I have to report a crime. The Cullens, they've done something terrible.
It's my daughter. The Volturi think Renesmee is an immortal child.
She was born, not bitten. She grows every single day.
Oh my.
Michael, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Long day, right?
Yeah, pretty long.
What a pleasant surprise.
I always hear that for an actor it's more fun to play the bad guy than the good guy. Is that true?
Well, you know, and no one thinks they're a bad guy. No one goes through life or through a story thinking they're the bad guy. They're the hero of their own story. So that's part of the fun of it, is working out how do they see what's going on, which is different to how the audience sees it going on, and the kind of conflict between those two things is what can make it quite enjoyable.
Also, the vampire is a legendary character through the movie history. We had a lot of things, but I like your character because it's kind of sinister, kind of fun in some moments.
Yeah.
It's like, so how do you portray all that combination of feelings?
Yeah, well, you know, it is an honor to take my place amongst all the great vampire characters of the past. That's great, and you know, you try and bring a little bit of other ones that you've seen in the past. You know that you're part of that tradition.
Talk about the preparation and the look, you know, the wig, the eyes, and how long it takes you to be...
Well, you know, Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the books, described a little bit what these characters were like, so you try and keep as close to what Stephanie's idea was. And then you sort of let your imagination go, really, and try and get creative with it, and I was allowed to have a lot of input, which was great. The tricky thing was that I thought we were going to be doing this battle scene out in a forest somewhere in the middle of the night and cold in the snow and for weeks and weeks on end, so I made sure I got a really warm costume, you know, big, lots of layers and robes and hoods and wool, and then of course it turns out we're doing it in a studio with green screen and it was boiling hot all the time.
But there's air conditioner, at least something like that.
Yeah, well, no, because you couldn't use fans because of all the snow, the fake snow, and it would blow it all away.
Maintaining our secret has never been more imperative.
What is it, Alice?
Volturi, they're coming for us.
Also, in your experience as an actor, in some moment do you think to be maybe a director, a filmmaker, to tell things?
Yeah, I hope so. I think, you know, for a lot of actors, inevitably you get to the point where you'd like to have a bit more control over the story itself, and that's something I definitely am interested in, and telling stories, developing stories myself, writing a bit and directing a bit, maybe, yeah. So I think that in the next few years, hopefully I'll start exploring that.
Good. You remember your very, very last scene?
The very last shot I did was during the battle scene, and I was jumping into the air and flying through the air, so I had a harness on under my costume, so you're all kind of like tightened up, and then you go whoop into the air, so I went flying off into the sunset like Superman.
Very good finale.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Now, time's up, Michael. A pleasure.
Thank you.
Bueno, esas cosas siempre pasan en el mundo del cine. Ahí nos lo contaba Michael Sheen, ¿no? Que cuando hacen escenas de invierno, en verano. Y en verano, de invierno. O sea, el tipo se abrigó, se puso el abrigo todo para estar metido en el estudio. Pero bueno, eso lo puedes ver ya en la película Amanecer Parte 2. Claro que ya se estrenó. Ahora, mientras seguimos preparando material buenazo y exclusivo para ti, hacemos una pausa comercial. No me cambies de canal, no seas zapping, ¿ah? Venimos después de la pausa. ¿Quieres que Cinescape te acompañe a donde vayas todos los días del año? Entonces corre a conseguir tu agenda Cinescape 2013. Un producto de lujo que ningún amante del cine puede dejar de tener. Los mejores estrenos del año, cumpleaños de famosos y celebraciones de la historia del cine. Datos, anécdotas y toda la información que esperabas. Y además, stickers, cupones de descuento y muchísimo más. Con el inconfundible estilo y calidad de tu programa favorito. De venta en librerías, supermercados y Cinemark. La agenda de Cinescape. Todos los estrenos del 2013 en tus manos.